Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite YouTube channel and Ravens podcast. Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P., and my MVP co host, Shannon Finch. Episode 72 for the YouTube channel. For the audio versions, the links are right there in the description below. Right along with me and Shannon's social media platforms. So definitely you can check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff like that. Shannon got another good show for us, some very good topics that I can't wait to dive into. So, all right, let's get right into it. Co-host, go ahead. Let us know what you got for us first.
Okay, so our first topic is going to be about the last preseason game that the Ravens played against the Bucs. What were your thoughts about the preseason game against the Bucs?
Actually, that was watching because out for my birthday. So for those who don't know, so
Happy birthday!
thank you, co-host, thank you, co-host. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate all the birthday love. I guess I was just basically saying who was going to just try their best to make the 53-man roster. Laquan Treadwell, he did enough to try to make it. I think he's going to be on the practice squad from what I said. Dante
Hmm.
Demas had a good showing. Uh, that's pretty much it. Like for the most part, I mean, Josh Johnson did his thing. Like I said, hopefully we go three quarterbacks. Anthony Brown didn't do too bad, but had a couple missed throws earlier. James Prochet had a catch or two, but it wasn't enough. So he got waived. So
Hmm.
the second string offensive line looked a little out of place because Tampa Bay D line was getting after us. So even the last play of the game, it came around. We had a chance to win it. Sack, he came untouched. So it's just still a thing like that. The backup offensive line looked a little shaky. Defensively, the backup corners, we already knew that was a question mark. So there's some guys that's going to be definitely looking for jobs in a couple of days. Corey Mayfield, Jeremy Lucien, Swan, and all those guys like that. So hope somebody hitting you up, Chad. Linebacking core. I think Malik Harrison's roster spot is safe. Trenton Simpson looked pretty good. Jeremiah Moon, he did okay. Christian Routes, he did okay too, but I think he might be the odd man out just because of the numbers game. Not that
Hmm.
he can't contribute because he's been a solid special teamer for the last couple of years, but just the numbers game. Of course, Melvin Gordon, he did okay. But other than that, like I said, I basically was just trying to see who was going to give us a good effort to try to make his team. That's just my thoughts.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't really take away too much from the game. I watched it until about the third quarter, midway to the third quarter. As I was watching it, I just felt like a lot of these guys are not going to be on this team next week, and they're not going to be starters, right? So I didn't put too much stock into what I saw, um, but it also kind of gave me an idea of who may have made the roster. Watching that game, and we don't have the full 50-man three at this time. I haven't seen a full list just yet. We have an idea of who's already been cut, but it's still a question mark with certain people. But the people that I didn't see, I was like, okay, they probably made the team. Like Keaton Mitchell, for instance, and we know for a
Right.
fact that he's made the team because they cut Melvin Gordon, as we discussed as a possibility last week. So I didn't take too much away from it. Like I said, it was the last preseason game. No one of importance really played, so it's time to get ready for the Texans.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we saw what we need to see. I mean, like I said, with three preseason games instead of four, you got to bring it every single preseason game. If you're a guy on the bubble, or if you're not a guy, you got to show out here. Sorry, like I said, string up and tripping. Sometimes everybody's bad with us. So you got to show us why you worth keeping. So that's all we really get look forward to in the preseason. Like I said, we did have an amazing run that kept everybody interested to watch.
Hmm.
But all in all, like I said, it's for the guys and the rookies trying to prove themselves. Such
Right.
Hindu, what's up, Hindu? He's in the house.
Hey.
A big sellout. I mean, what's going on, bro? And we got Brandon by Hindu channel, the Roll Podcast. We got some fellow content creators in here showing love. Like I said, everybody, strain y'all be on some BS, so bear with us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shannon. Yeah, I told y'all, strain y'all be on some BS, everybody, so bear with us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the next topic is, what do you think about John Harbaugh announcing that John Simpson was going to be the left guard, for the season, starting left guard? Were you surprised?
Not really, because he did earn it for the most part. Salah, like I said, I'm more comfortable with a veteran that's been around, even though
Mm-hmm.
he didn't really do well with the Raiders, but things have been changing scenery, so he probably learned a thing or two since then. I was hoping him or Pat Ricardo sign somebody. Like I said, I didn't want to put Lamar's health and fate in the hands of Ben Cleveland and Salah, who's a six
Mm-hmm.
round pick that developmental guy. So I'm glad that he went
Yeah.
with the safer option in John Simpson. So yeah, I like it. Like I say, he earned. He's been playing pretty well. So hopefully he does well. Only thing is, if he does well, would he bring him back? 'Cause, like I said, Ben Powers had a good year. He had free agency, got paid. So it could be the same thing with John Simpson because he's only 25, 26. I
Mm-hmm.
remember him when he was at Clemson, pretty good lineman. The Raiders
Mm-hmm.
organization is just such a mess right now. So it's hard for
Mm-hmm.
anybody to really get
Have
anything
success,
going.
right?
Yeah, except for Max
Mm-hmm.
Crosby, he's doing his thing. But everybody else is just like it's a hope and a prayer. But like I said,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully he has a good season and they they want to keep him around because I want some continuity on the offensive line for at least the next couple years. That way,
Yeah.
Lamar, I know my guys are right here. Of course, we know Morgan Moses may have to, make it because he's getting up there, and Kevin Zeitler's getting up there. So those two we got their replacements already on the roster, but Voorhees and Fire Leahy. So just slide them in, and everything
Mm-hmm.
else stay afloat. So yeah, we need. I just want a link chain on the old line for at least the next 5 years. That way, we ain't got to keep matching guys each year. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I like it, and I think he'll do pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, he earned it, so he deserves it. Um, and I didn't realize he was that young. So if he does do well this year, we definitely need to bring him back, so that we're not still trying to figure out that position. But it more or less it said more about Ben Cleveland in a negative way for me, because that's who you would have expected to be able to step into that role, and that's what we probably would have wanted to have happen,
Hmm.
particularly because we drafted him. But obviously he didn't, do a good job in that spot. So the person who earned it got it, and he deserved it. So I think it was a good move.
Yeah, like I said, like I said, you ever go with a veteran that's seen some stuff, then some two unproven guys, and then
Yeah, and like
next
you
thing,
said,
no question.
I was gonna say, like you said, a change of scenery, could work for him. I mean, Brian McKinney was older when he came here, but it worked for him. They thought he was done with the Vikings, and he came here and revitalized his career. So hopefully we can do that with a young guy.
Absolutely, and Harbaugh didn't make that decision about talking to Joe DeAlexandris. Like I said, he's been coaching the offensive line for
Hmm.
40 years, so he didn't. If he ain't signed off for it, Harbaugh wouldn't have made that announcement. Trust me. So I
Yeah.
think I think he's gonna be good to go. All right, Silas, I think that was a good move for now. Yeah, like I said, yeah, for sure. For
Hmm.
sure, like I said, because like I said, he's played a couple years in the league, and he's seen some stuff where as though trial late here in Ben Cleveland still improving.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our next topic. Go ahead, Shannon.
And I thought about this topic just for you, because I really wanted to know, what did you think about it when you, now that I know, like, you don't even want Huntley on a roster, what did you think when you heard that the Ravens were interested in trading for Trey Lance?
Oh, I didn't really think enough of. I didn't really think they was interested till I found out last minute. But in hindsight, I would have liked it though, honestly, because like I said, Snoop was okay, but like I said, he just I don't know. Like I said, his decision making sometimes just make me really just scratch my head. Like I see why you went undrafted, but it would have been okay. And they only wanted the fourth round pick, so it's like a steal for a
Hmm.
top three pick. That's a steal. So, and I know the Diners couldn't ask for a lot. 'Cause they knew they had to move him because Purdy played so well. It was hard to bench a quarterback that just went to the NFC Championship game and all that because the fan base will go in uproar if Trey Lance play and they don't get that far or whatever.
Hmm.
So you have your fan base great turn on you. So the Niners they had to, go with the consensus, so you couldn't really get a whole lot. But I would have liked it though. Like I said, I was a big fan of his coming out of North Dakota, and he actually played well last year. He just got hurt at the wrong time, and it just that's all. Basically, like how Drew Bledsoe did. Like I said, we would have never heard of Tom Brady if Tom Brady. I mean, if Drew Bledsoe don't get hurt against the Jets. If
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Warner don't get, I mean, Trent Green don't get hurt in that preseason game against the Chargers, Kurt Warner don't have the career he had. So it happens.
Yeah.
That's just how the ball bounces in football sometimes. But I would have liked it though, because like I said, Huntley is okay, he's cool, but Trey Lance got a way bigger arm than him. So I would have felt much comfortable with him as the number two than Huntley. Like I said, if Huntley, I don't have, like I said, I don't wish him to be cut. I just wish he'd make better decisions. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting you say that because when I was listening to the radio today, someone they had on, a guest they had on, he was saying that very thing about Tyler Huntley. The host had asked them, "How sure are you that Huntley is quarterback number two?" And he basically said he was sure just based on who was here, but the Ravens still questioned like his decision making. And I immediately thought about you. That playoff game is going to stick with a lot of people. But when I heard about the that the Ravens were interested in Trey Lance, I said, "Wow, um, that would have been a good look." Because even if you decide to keep three on the roster and you got rid of Josh and Anthony Brown, you bringing in Trey Lance. That's like I said, we don't know what he's going to be. I don't feel like he got a good opportunity with the 49ers. And like you said, he got hurt. So unfortunately, that happens in sports. But coming here, you wouldn't be expected to be the starter. You can still sit back and you can learn. You can learn from an MVP. Or if they decided to keep Huntley around or Josh Johnson around, you would have someone else to learn from as well. I thought that would have been a great pickup. It would have been a shocking pickup. I think for most people probably would have been like, wow. But I think it would have been really dope to do that because it would have gave him an opportunity to grow. And even if he didn't pan out here, he might be able to go somewhere else and get another opportunity if he gets looks while he's here. You know what I mean? So I think it would have been a good look if it could have went through. But it really, really started making me think, how sure are the Ravens about Huntley? And I feel like if we didn't have that contract situation going on with Lamar in the offseason, I don't know that the Ravens would have tendered Huntley when they did. I think they did that to try to protect themselves, but I think that if a deal would have got done with Lamar earlier, I think Huntley might have been gone, you know?
Facts.
So it's just gonna always be interesting to me because it's like, wow, what could have been if he did, get traded? But yeah, I think Huntley might be on his way out sooner than later, especially if they were interested in Trey Lance. They obviously aren't totally happy with the backup quarterback situations, but what are they going to do at this point?
Yeah, one last little nugget. Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, and I guess and this is just my humble opinion. People can tell me shut the hell up, and that's fine. I think the Cowboys traded for Trey Lance because they low key trying to move off Dak. They
Hmm.
low key trying to move off Dak because that money they paid him, these turnovers, not getting to the NFC Championship game. So Jerry, like, man, shit, man, like, like, damn, I can't, I ain't pay you for this. Like I say, that's why Romo got up out of that same thing. They don't want to just keep going to the division around. They want to, this is an American team. They trying to go play for the sixth Super Bowl. So
Hmm.
it's like, if Dak come out there and start throwing picks like crazy again, you can insert Trey Lance and he played good. It's like you're getting 30 cent off
Absolutely.
you're getting 30 cent off a dollar. Whereas us, we're not trying to do that with Lamar. We have all the faith in the world in Lamar. So
Yeah.
so I think that situation with Dak, they like, man, if Dak get the tripping, we can't rely on no Cooper Rush. You see how far that can get us. Trey Lance with these weapons and that offensive line, that defense, yeah, and he's basically gonna be for dirt cheap because he's still on his rookie deal. They trade him, so and he got a 5th year option. Shit, we
Hmm.
can get Dak up out of here. You know what I mean, have somebody eat that contract or whatever. So I think that's why Jerry
Hmm.
made that move as a good insurance policy in case Dak turned into Mr. Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's probably why he did that. Puts Dak on a hot seat.
Yeah, he just make some comments about that too. He said something the other day. I don't want to misquote him, but he said
I
something
didn't
about
see
Dak.
it.
Got to do this and that and this. Yes, somebody
Mm,
posted. Like I said, I don't know how accurate they are. That's why I said I don't want to, misquote it. But they said Jerry was basically going in on Dak on the low.
mm, I missed that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just stumbled across it in one of the sports groups. All right, go ahead, Shannon. Here go our next topic.
Okay, so Terrell Suggs is going to be inducted into the Ravens Ring of Honor on October 22nd, 2023. Who do you think will be next to be inducted?
After him, Yonder already went in, so we'll go Jimmy Smith only because he's already officially retired. It would be Joe Flacco, but he's still active for the league right now. But I'm gonna go with Jimmy Smith because since he just recently retired and makes it officially put in his papers, definitely Jimmy Smith. Then whenever after that, maybe Webb, like Darius Webb, maybe. Like I said, until Joe put in his official papers, then they got to put that on hold. So definitely Jimmy Smith for me.
So I guess you knew what I was going to say.
It just made the most. I mean, I guess great minds think alike, but it just made
No,
the
no,
most
no, no.
sense.
I wasn't going to say that. I was actually going to say Joseph Vincent Flacco. But the point you just made, it makes sense. He hasn't officially retired. I don't think he's on a roster. I was looking earlier. I don't think he's on a roster right now. But like you said, you do have to retire. So, in that sense, it'll probably be.
I say Jimmy because he just recently retired, like last year. So it would just make sense.
You know what? I didn't give much put much thought into it with Jimmy Smith, but that might not be a bad pick. Like I could see that. Like I said, my answer was going to be Joe, but
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
the
he hasn't he
obvious.
hasn't
Yeah, if you,
apolog- he hasn't apo- he hasn't retired yet.
yeah,
So
that's the obvious. Had he been retired, yeah, that'd have been no brainer. But like I say, he's still active.
that's a good question. You know, I wouldn't be mad at Jimmy. I wouldn't be mad at Jimmy at all. But he definitely didn't cross my mind when I was thinking about guys to go in next. But I love Jimmy. Like he was a guy that we got to grow with him. That it's always he goes back to the saying, like I always say, I don't like to judge a guy until their third year, and because by then you know what you have or don't have in a player. And I feel like after that Super Bowl play against Crabtree, it's like he became what we needed him to become. Um, when he first came in early on, I was kind of like disappointed because I was like, I expected him to be like this shutdown corner. And that was the time when I really was like, you know what, I'm gonna give these guys grace because you're still learning. Like I remember Curry Williams starting over him back in those days. But after the Super Bowl, it was like Jimmy Smith was like our shutdown corner. And if the injuries didn't hinder him, I think he would be held at a higher regard than he may be. But he was definitely our guy. So yeah, I can definitely see Jimmy going. And when did I don't remember if Hamill or Darius Webb retired for who retired first or second, but
Webb for sure.
was first.
Hmm
Yeah, and
He retired. He retired after the 2018 season.
he's not a bad pick, but he wasn't he I would pick Jimmy Smith over him only because like the Ring of Honor, Webby played his role. He played his role. He wasn't. I would never say he was like a shutdown. He did, like he played his role on the defense. He did his thing. It's not to take nothing away from him. But when I think about the Ring of Honor, I think about people that's like borderline Hall of Fame, but you're more or less Hall of Fame to this organization, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not, I don't know that the Ladarius Webb is that, but if they decided to do that with him, I wouldn't like frown about it because again, because of what he means to us. You know what I mean? But if you were to talk about the top cornerbacks on the Ravens, I don't know that he would be at the top of the list for even like other fans that they would say him first. Like he's down the line, but people know McAllister, Jimmy Smith, Marlon Humphrey. You know what I mean? So I would say Jimmy Smith based on the two that you gave, but we definitely know Joe Flacco going in
Yeah, as soon as he put in his papers, yeah,
there. Yeah.
he's already going, and it's well deserved. You can love or
Hmm.
hate Joe, but he definitely earned it.
Still hold a whole lot of records.
Facts. All right, go ahead, Shannon. Our last topic for the day.
Now with this one, I was kind of hoping we had more to go off of. We have some things to go off because we know who got released
Mm-hmm.
and who they haven't really mentioned one way or another, like the quarterback position. But what are your thoughts? I don't want to say the official because we don't know what it is yet. But what are your thoughts on the 50-man 3 roster?
Gotcha. Like I said, hopefully they go three quarterbacks. Because like I said, we don't gotta. I don't want to get put in that in a situation that the Niners got. So hopefully we go three quarterbacks. Practice put Anthony Brown in the practice squad, so so he can develop a little bit more. Running backs go four. J.K. Gus, Justice, Keaton Mitchell. Keep Pat Ricard for now. You know what I mean? Because we do use the fullback at sometimes. Just now, we're just not going to use it a lot, like Greg Roman, then putting him in the slot and all that.
Hmm.
So and he will be playing like some H back and all that because Tom Bucks can say that to come block. So guys won't come off the edge and get free hits at Lamar. Uh, Wide receivers, we may go 6 or 7 deep depending on what's what. Prochet's gone, so we got Odell, Bateman, Aguilar, say Duvernay. You got Tyler Wallace, who's the lead candidate for the number 6. You got Laquan Treadwell's on the practice squad. So it's
Hmm.
both 6 or 7 guys there. Tight ends 3. Andrews likely, Kolar, that Volacek guy, practice squad in case he might get hurt.
Hmm.
Because he definitely played well enough to at least get on the practice squad. Offensive line, I think they released Sam Mustafa. I think they should have kept him because he's a true backup center. Now instead of something happening to knock on wood, Tyler Lindenbaugh, now Makari got to keep switching back and forth. Although he
Hmm.
can do that, sometimes that can mess a play up versus just honing in on one position. So
Yeah.
I'd rather had a true backup center versus I would have definitely had cut been Cleveland and kept Mustaford if it was my call, and I'm pretty sure you would have done the same. 'Cause like I said, you want a true backup center that could just focus
Hmm.
strictly on just snapping the ball, not 4 or 5 different positions. But this EDC job, he must got a plan. Defensively, Roger Washington. Of course, he signed. Let's see, you got Michael Parrish. We got Travis Jones, Justin Matabike, Brent Urban, and probably like Angelo Blackson probably make it for us the interior guys. Trey Botts got cut, and a couple other guys got cut. Uh, Edge rushers. Let's see, we go to James Young, Clown, and Tyus Bowser. He's getting ready to be in action soon. We got Ajabo, and we got Dafio Way, Tavares Robinson. I think Malik Ham might can squeak up in there. They cut Jeremiah Moore and all that, and the guy Kelly Sanders. Inside linebackers, we spoke on this a little bit earlier. Roquan, Pat Queen, they're the starters. Trenton Simpson, Nick Harrison. John Ross probably practice squad. And Christian Watts probably gonna have to be the odd man out. Like I said, it's just a numbers game.
Hmm.
Corner, I'm not gonna count Marlon because he's hurt right now. We all know he's a lot regardless. But outside of him, Ronald Darby, Rocky San, Jalen Norman Davis, Pepe, that's 4 right there. Whew, Arthur Mulet might slide in there. Then you still got Brandon Stevens and that can play corner. And then so that and plus Mars, who at least be like 6 or 7 deep there. Safety, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, Darius Washington, Geno Stone, Brandon Stevens, Daryl Worley might get a spot there, because he's versatile to play corner and safety. So of course Tuck, a long snap, a long snapper, and we got Jordan Stout. So that's just
Hmm.
a little brief version of how the 53 gonna look.
I pretty much agree with what you just said. What I'm excited about, like I said, we can, without even having the official list, we kind of can go like process of elimination and know like who may have made the team. And we've been talking about Keaton Mitchell for the past, what, 3 weeks now. I know you're happy, like I'm happy that he made the team. I know he made the team. Like, it's no way I can't see them getting
That's
rid of
why he
him
didn't
and
play.
going
That's
on
why
a
he did.
exa-
That's why he didn't play against Tampa Bay. Not to cut you off.
exactly. No, exactly. Like, and that was a red flag for me in that game. Like I told you, I was watching that game. Like, I'm thinking a lot of people that's not playing, it's probably because they didn't make the squad. Like, they showed enough, and they like, okay, we good on that, But I agree with everything you just said. This is my question though about. I have kind of like two questions. My
Mhm.
first question is about is defensively, because we know the issue that Marlon Humphrey has, and we know the issue that Tyus Bowser is now dealing with.
Right.
Would you be for or against the Ravens putting them on a pup list to open the season?
It's tough because If you do that, and he come next week and say he ready, it's like now you gotta wait extra weeks, which will be okay because give him the time. But it's like if Joe Burrow come out even with messed up leg, whatever, and shred us for 400 yards, it's like you know that can change the things quick. So that's a real good question, Shannon. I will say no, just let him go week by week. Let him go week by week
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to jump the gun with that next thing he's ready to go. Then you gotta wait and wait and wait, and then next thing that can probably bite us at the end, real end. Like I saw, first three games of Houston, uh, the Colts and the Bengals. At worst, we should be 2-1. At worst, I'm not saying the Bengals are going to beat us. I'm just saying at worst, I feel like we still can win that game if we do everything we got to do on offense and get stops when we need them on defense. We just still, like I said, we still got Lamar playing, so we still can strike it out and just get
Mm-hmm.
stops when we need to. So if we, like I said, we could possibly go 3-0, 2-1 at worst. So play it week by week. And that's just my opinion with that.
So I've been thinking about this for a couple of hours now. I actually don't think it's a bad idea to put them on a pup list. The only reason why I say that is because I understand the week to week thing. Like if they say they can go, they feel like they can go, fine, right? But what if they do come back and they tweak something because they came back a little bit too early and you really haven't been practicing or doing anything in the past couple of weeks because you've been hurt, right? So I'm saying if they put them on a pup list, that means I'm giving you at least 4 games I know that you're not going to be in. That would cut down on a whole lot of questions being asked about them because if they're on a pup list, then the media can't keep asking, "How's Marlon doing? How's
Right.
Bowser doing?" Because at that point, you know they can't come back before this point, so we're not discussing them, and most likely they wouldn't ask about them until it probably got close to that 4 week mark. And I looked at it like if they're not going to be able to help us in the first month or the first quarter of football, why not utilize that just to not have the extra stress of making them feel pressed to come back? Because again, like you said, what if we go out there, right, and it starts looking bad, and then they feel like, well, let me go out there because now we're down, we're 1-1, or we're not going, we're 0-2, but they can still not be completely healthy or ready to come out there. So that's why I was thinking like it wouldn't be a bad idea to put them on there. Knowing Harbaugh, I know that if he does not, that he's going to be annoyed with the media constantly asking him about those two. So I was just thinking, put them on there so we don't have to answer any questions about it, and it allows the 2 guys, to know, don't feel like you got to rush back. Take your time, like because like you said, not letting them. I mean, not putting them, letting them go week to week can hurt us in the long run. Not having them available. And I'm looking at it the other way. Like, what if you make them available and they come too early, and then we don't have them later in the season? So that's why I'm just saying, let them work their way back, get comfortable, and then come back. But we'll see what he decides. I just know that he's going to be annoyed if that's a question every week until they
And
come back.
and that's a good counterpoint too, Shannon. That's a great counterpoint. So it's like if you do that, it shows you got confidence in the guys you got, which is good, which is always a great thing. But them guys gotta be ready for you. Once you make that call, you gotta be sure that a Ajabo and a Dobby off Owe and Clowney and Tavares Robinson are ready.
Mm-hmm.
Darby, Armand Davis, Pepe, Seymour if he makes it,
Mm-hmm.
Caillou Blue Kelly. I forgot about him on the 53. Those guys like, hey, we can hold it down tomorrow and get back.
Mm-hmm.
And your coordinator guy. I mean, Mike McDonald, he got to be like, you know what, John, we can. I think we'll be okay till those guys get back. If they
Mm-hmm.
all on the same page with that, then make the call. Because like you said, it is good to play the long game. But yeah, like I said, it's like I said, way how schedule is at worst. Who we play after we played out of Colts? I ain't even looked that far.
I
I
have
don't.
to look at it again. I
I
haven't looked
know
at the
it's
schedule in
yeah.
a
I
while.
know it's Texans, Bengals, Colts. Off the top of my head, those three. I don't know who week 4 is, but
Yeah, I have
we
to see.
like I said, we can go 2-1 at worst and be 3-0. Like I said, 'cause we still can win. Even those two don't play. I feel like when Lamar and them do their thing like we expect them to, and we get at least a stop or two with Burrow being limited,
Mm-hmm.
we can still pull that game on. It might not be in a pretty fashion, but hey, like I said, last time we checked, you get the same amount of wins if you win 40 or nothing. You get the same amount of wins if you win 13-10.
Right.
This is not college football where your style points affect affect your standards.
Right. So then my last question, this is moving to the offense. The
Hmm.
last time that we talked or heard about Mark Andrews, like he was angry in practice, slamming his helmet, and some of the media tried to imply that it was about him slamming his helmet and being angry was when Lamar passed to Zay Flowers and he got a touchdown. So they were trying to imply like, is he upset about that? But we really haven't seen much from him. He's not been practicing. He's John Harbaugh's now being asked about Mark Andrews. Are you concerned about Mark Andrews? Do you think he's more hurt than what they're leading on?
I mean, as of right now, no, but things could change. But Foster being upset, frustrated, like I said, it happens. Like it
Mm-hmm.
happens. Like I'm us not. That's going to help him up, Zay Flowers and those guys getting open. Because now he don't got to see triple teams every week.
Right.
Now he don't got to see triple teams. They be like, hey, we're gonna go all out, stop you, and anybody else get one-on-one coverage. You don't got to worry about that no more. Because there's a
Mm-hmm.
plethora of weapons. Now you're gonna get one-on-one coverage like you did your first 2 years, and put up and continue to put up great numbers. So, but like I said, players are human. They're gonna get frustrated. That's just what it is. They're human. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. The media got to find any little storyline, any inkling they can because it's their job. If they don't, they don't,
Right.
they don't. They're unemployed. So I get it because we're kind of similar and we're somewhat in their space, so we get it. But, but yeah, I think it's excuse me. I think it's major, right? I mean, I think it's minor right now, in my opinion. Like, I just think it's just, that's just training camp. Guys are competitive. They want the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a good thing. If a player not upset not getting the ball, he's not lie to 10. He's afraid of the moment, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So initially, when it was reported, I didn't know what to think because everybody was basically trying to imply the same thing. But
Hmm.
now that the weeks have gone on and he hasn't practiced, I'm thinking that it was more about frustration about whatever little tweak he has, wherever the tweak is. I don't know if it's in his shoulders, like I don't know where it's at, but I think that may have been more of his frustration, not because Lamar passed a touchdown to Zay Flowers.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because Mark Andrews, anytime you hear him talk, all he talks about is wanting to win. He's never come across like a selfish guy. And like you said, them being is only going to help him. You know what I mean? He hasn't had single coverage probably since his rookie year, maybe second year. So I'm just starting to lean more towards it. More towards it may have been, whatever he tweaked, and that's why he wasn't out there, and that's why he was frustrated in that moment. Not about a touchdown being thrown to anyone else, because I feel like he's still going to get his too. And like I said, most importantly, I don't think he's selfish. He's really about winning. So I don't think it's a major injury, but I definitely think he may have tweaked something.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, he might have probably got some tweaking injury, but I think he'll be ready to go week one. But we all
Mm-hmm.
know he's not selfish. This is the same man on record say he would give up some salary to make sure Lamar
For
can play.
Lamar, right?
On record. So it's like, like I said, people gotta get whatever the storyline they can get. We get it. They gotta eat, but it's like, come on now, let's not overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
Read this last comment, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Silas says Mitchell has that game changing speed if he has the right window. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What you think
Mm-hmm.
about that comment, Shannon?
I agree. That's why we wanted him on the team.
Yeah, and then like I say, he homegrown too. Father was a part of our first Super Bowl team, Anthony Mitchell. Great
Mm-hmm.
special team, a solid role player, a safety. So yeah, definitely I love getting them second generation Raven players. It's definitely like we had Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
now we got him, so it's definitely good, man. It's definitely good that he home. That he home.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody, man, great show, great topic, Shannon. We'll be back Thursday. Dave may or may not with us. He had a little accident at work. He's okay, but depending on how he
Oh.
feeling, yeah, yeah. So you can check up on him and all that stuff like this. So I'm gonna check with him to see how he feeling Thursday. Like I said, he may or may not be with us. But me and Shannon will still be as usual. I'm gonna have chat some good stuff, talking about the opener, what to look for versus the Texans matchups, the whole, etc. Anything you
Mm-hmm.
want to say, Shannon, before we wrap it up, who else?
Yeah, I want to wish you a happy birthday again. I hope you had a great weekend. I
Thank
didn't
you,
know
Shannon.
about Dave, but I'm definitely praying for you. Hope all is well. Um, and I just have to give Eric DaCosta a shout out because I can't remember a time, even when Ozzy was the GM, that a player or players that I wanted, like thought we should have bought in, like we did that. I wanted Lamar to come back. We got Odell. We banged on the table for Zay Flowers. We've been mentioning Clowney as somebody to bring in, and we've been talking about Keaton Mitchell for the past 3 weeks. So I'm just happy to know that like all five of those guys are going to be on the team this year. And that just goes to show, like Arthur Costa, you did your thing this off season.
And I'm gonna echo that. He definitely, like I said, he heard the criticism. He took it like a champ. He didn't whine. He didn't complain. He knew what he had to do. He did his end of the bargain. Now it's the players and coaches' job to do that part.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Amen.
the old
Amen.
like the old saying, Bill Parcells, the GM pick him, the coach got to coach him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so hopefully everything else fall into play and then we can have a good season this year. Thank you, Brandon, man. Thank you for always chiming in, bro. Appreciate that. Well, everyone, y'all have a great Tuesday night. Some baseball on. Definitely O's are rolling, so support those guys. We're almost like I said, the first game is almost here. Next Thursday night is the
Mm-hmm.
first official night of NFL season. So like I said, we don't got long to go.
Yeah.
We don't got long to go, man.
Mm-hmm.
You too, Henry. But everybody, y'all make sure y'all trade. You know what I mean? Talk Ravens all day, every day. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, share with your friends, co-workers, baby moms, her moms, friends, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, me and Shannon, and also Dave when he hops on. So, man, love you guys, and we are out.
Bye. Bye, Justin.
Bye, Shannon.